Way to go, Tyler.
I didn't do anything. You guys went choppy on me. I don't know.
Tyler said you guys just went choppy, but it was actually him.
Yeah, it wasn't us. What the heck, dude? We're trying to do a really important thing here. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Grim Grinning Dads. Oh my goodness, I've wanted to say that for so long now. Just so everybody knows, I'm one of your hosts. My name's Caleb. I'm joined with Tyler and Charlie. Honestly, this is a podcast that's been in the works for a while. We're just three dudes with a serious love for all things Disney and travel. Now, just to be clear, we're all part of a team of travel advisors who specialize in Disney destinations. We are not in any way affiliated with, employed by, or representing the Walt Disney Company. Everything we share here is purely our own thoughts, opinions, and experiences. But what we can promise to you is we are true Disney adults. Okay, we frequent the parks here in the States, and who knows, maybe one day we'll adventure outside of the United States and visit the international parks. That's the dream. Along the way, we're going to give you real tips and tricks and maybe share a few laughs while we're at it. But for this very first episode, we thought it'd be really fun to let you in on who we are and how we ended up here behind a microphone. So Tyler, let's go ahead and get it kicked off here. Why don't you go ahead and tell the people?
Yeah. So hello, everyone. My name is Tyler, and I currently live in Las Vegas, Nevada. But originally, I grew up in a little town called Orlando, Florida. Maybe you've heard of it. I grew up about 30 minutes away from Walt Disney World. So growing up, Disney for me, it wasn't really a vacation spot. It was just kind of a everyday thing. It was just, that big attraction that was nearby. We had annual passes for years while I was growing up. Had a lot of great memories there. I remember being in Epcot right after the original test track opened. I remember going to Animal Kingdom within like the first month after it opened. So I definitely grew up with a lot of very, very fond memories of Disney World. So fast forward to 2011, I had just gotten out of college and decided, you know what, I want to move out of Florida. So I apply in a few different places, and I end up getting a job offer in Las Vegas. So I move out to Las Vegas right at the end of 2011, not really knowing anybody out here. And it was an adjustment for sure. But in early 2012, I had one of my buddies from Florida come out and visit me, who was actually a former cast member at Disney World. And we decided we were going to make the road trip 4 hours west to Anaheim and visit Disneyland for the first time. And that was definitely an eye-opening experience for me. It had a lot of the same magic that I was used to, but it felt very different in a way, more nostalgic, that like original feel to it. And I couldn't get enough.
Even though the castle's tiny.
Castle is tiny, but it's the original. We'll get into that one of these days for sure. So I went back several times over the next few years, ended up dating my now wife. One of our first trips together was going out to Disneyland. And she is originally from Wisconsin. She had only really ever been to Disney World until we started dating. And then now I would definitely say we're a Disneyland family now. We had our daughter in 2018, and she is named after a Disney princess. So that tells you what kind of Disney adults that we are. And seeing her experience these parks for the first time was like very eye-opening for me. It kind of reignited that passion for it in a completely different way, that I just had never seen it that way. So fast forward from there to 2023, and we're kind of post-pandemic. We haven't been able to travel a ton since pre-COVID, and I'm just really having that itch. And I stumble upon this idea of becoming a travel agent, specializing in Disney. And so I go through this interview process. I get the gig. It's super exciting. Find out, this agency has these awesome summits a couple times a year. So in spring of 2024, I go to my first agency summit in Disneyland. I'm getting paired up with a random guy as a roommate, which turns out to be none other than Caleb.
This dude right here.
That
This
guy.
guy.
Yeah. Did not know what I was in for. But as we're talking and getting to know each other, and we kind of instantly have this rapport, and the debates start flying, like which version of Thunder Mountain is better between Disney World and Disneyland, and that kind of stuff. And that was, I think, the initial kind of seeds for what we hope this podcast will be.
100%.
We genuinely love talking about this stuff with each other. Like, we would hang out, and like if we got on FaceTime, we could probably talk for 3 hours, and we just figured, why not record this? Because this would probably be entertaining for other people to listen to as well, and maybe learn some cool travel tips along the way.
We actually did that not too long ago.
Yes, that's true. But yeah, I mean, and since that first trip, we've been on, I think, every agency summit. We haven't missed one yet at Disneyland or Disney World.
Right.
We've got another one coming up later this year that we'll share with everybody as that gets closer. But yeah, I'm super excited to get this started. And yeah, I just can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the really cool thing is, like, we've been to these places together, and now we just get to share our thoughts and our experiences. Charlie, I want to hear from you. Tell us how you got here.
All right. So you could say my Disney story started way back when I was a kid. Every school vacation, my family would pack up and head down to Disney. One time, braving the entire East Coast in a car, driving from Maine, which is where I live. It wasn't just a trip. It was the trip. The place where all those core childhood memories that I have were made. That feeling when the castle comes into view, or when you're walking down Main Street for the first time of that trip, the magic just stuck to me. So years later, before my wife and I even tied the knot, Disney was still part of our lives. We visited together a couple times, and even tossed around the idea of actually getting married there. Turned out to not work, because we found out that they didn't look kindly on you trying to get married in the Typhoon Lagoon wave pool, which is what we were thinking about doing.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That would have been awesome, but we weren't able to do it. So
that's a pretty violent wave pool too.
I was going to say, at the kiss, they would send a wave and just drench you guys, right?
Just knock everybody over.
Knock the whole wedding party out. Yeah.
Everybody's gone.
But we were looking into that because we loved, like, the magic, and it was something that we shared together. And then came our son. And honestly, from the moment he was born, I started counting down the days until I could plan that first Disney trip as his dad. I wanted to share that same magic with him that I grew up with. Maybe not as often because, cost and everything, but the magic was there, and I wanted to bring that to him. Now, here's the thing. The last time my wife and I had been to Disney was 8 years earlier.
Oh, wow.
And a few things had changed in that time. So I dove headfirst into doing some research. I was reading, watching, listening, learning, and discovering all the ways that Disney had evolved over that course of time. And the more I learned, the more excited I got, not just about going, but about planning. So when our kiddo finally turned 6, it was time to plan that trip. We made it a true family trip. My brother came along with his 2 boys, and my parents joined us too. And that's when it clicked for me. I realized it wasn't just about being in Disney. For me, the magic started long before we even stepped into the parks. It was in the planning, the details, the countdown, which there's an app for now that you can get, and helping everyone else have the best trip possible.
Hashtag 1 week.
Hashtag 1 week for Caleb. So the morning we were set to leave, my son started complaining of an upset tummy. We brushed it off, thinking it was just excitement or nerves about his first trip to Disney World. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Turned out it was norovirus, and it wasn't just his tummy that was about to be in trouble. It was the entire travel party. And of course, the plot thickens. Another traveler had joined us, making things extra interesting. Suddenly, our group couldn't stay together. Someone was always back at the hotel with a sick kiddo or stuck handling the fallout of whatever germ was spreading next. We missed rides. We had to split up for shows. Our carefully planned dinner reservations were rewritten at least 5 times. It felt like my perfect vision of Disney magic was slipping right through my fingers. Let's just say there were a few tear-soaked walks through Epcot as we shuffled past the country pavilions on our way back to the hotel, feeling like the dream trip was crumbling. But hey, did make for some unforgettable memories, just not the kind we expected. So here's the thing. As it turns out, the worst days at Disney World can actually rival or even top the best days in the real world outside of the park. My son and his cousins, yeah, they look back on that trip and they still want to go again, which blows my mind. They've all fondly remembered the magic and maybe forgot about the countless bathroom trips or that one day we spent way too long at the top of the Riviera Hotel just soaking in the views. Well, let me tell you, the Disney blues hit hard after that trip, like really hard. I was crushed, devastated even. I was convinced we'd never go back. Spoilers, we've gone 3 times more since, twice that's probably that same year. But after the trip, I was on a mission to fill that Disney-shaped void in my heart with something special. And as I was scrolling through Facebook one day, I stumbled across a post about becoming a Disney travel agent, and that was my sign. I decided, why not? Let's go for it. So I took the plunge and interviewed with our company, and honestly, for me, the rest is history. But after experiencing the ups and downs, the chaos, unforgettable moments during that trip with my family, I realized I wanted to make that magic accessible to others. I've seen how a well-planned trip can turn stress into excitement and make memories that last a lifetime, despite some stumbling along the way. As a Disney dad, I know what works, what doesn't, and how to take the pressure off of families so they can focus on what really matters, enjoying their time together, which I can tell you on that trip I didn't get to do. I was much more concerned about all of the different moving pieces and just couldn't be in the moment for myself. But that's why I became a Disney travel planner, and I want to help other families experience the same joy, wonder, and adventure that we did, but without the headaches that come along with trying to figure it out all on your own, and especially if there are things that go wrong, because let's be fair, they can and will. Being able to experience a lot of the fam trips that we've had, my first introduction to both of you guys was at the Disney World fam trip or last year, or was that this year? That was this year.
That was earlier this year, yeah.
That was like a couple months ago.
March of this year.
Yeah, what is time, right, guys? Yeah. It was great. Like that first trip was a kind of an inroads, but I think really when I got to experience what it's like for the 3 of us to just like share that love of Disney was when we went to Disneyland on that second trip, and just being there with these guys and talking about Disney, basically having our private guide, Tyler, here, bringing us through Disneyland as we were like, let's go experience this. Let's try this snack. Let's go to this place. For me, that was awesome. So like being able to be a part of a podcast like this is something that I'm very excited to be a part of, because I don't have other people that I get to talk this in depth and this nerdy about Disney with. So,
well, it's one of those things too. Like, I just think back to meeting Tyler at Disneyland and meeting you at Disney World this last March, and like the amount of relationships that you build in those things. Like you realize, like, wow, okay, I'm not actually alone. Like there are people out there that love this as much as I do. It's just crazy. Just crazy.
Oh yeah, I remember my first meeting with Charlie. Remember we're waiting outside the Skyliner station by Epcot, and he sees I'm wearing a certain hat, and he just beelines for me, and he has to ask me about that hat, which I'm sure will be a story for a later episode.
Yeah,
but that hat has proven to be a conversation starter on multiple trips now.
Yeah, Yeah, even Dave, right?
Yeah, even Dave.
Even Dave asked you about your hat.
Yep.
That's another story that will probably come up at some point. Um, yeah, and Charlie, like you had to deal with me in the car with Alexa,
With Alexa. Yeah.
and you hear my dolphin story.
Yeah.
Yeah, which she still won't let me forget about.
No.
Whatever.
And she shouldn't.
Whatever. But Charlie, a lot like you, also me as a kid, like that's where my love for Disney showed up, right? Like I always wanted to go to Disney as a kid, but living in rural America, like money wasn't always a commodity that we had a lot of. And family vacations also is not a priority when you live on a farm. So, but Disney was always my dream. I wanted to very much visit there all the time. I would show my mom videos on like YouTube all the time because like YouTube had just come out and like people were doing that. So like showing the rides and all the snacks and walking down Main Street. Yeah, so that eventually just became my goal. One day I'll make it to Disney. Fast forward into my adult life, I get married, and one day we decided that we wanted to do something different and go someplace where we'd never been before. And I brought it up to my then wife at the time and said, "What about Disney?" And so we got together with some close friends and said, "Yeah, let's get it done. Let's go." So in November of 2018, we finally made it to Disney World. I remember walking into the gates of the Magic Kingdom and coming around the corner and just seeing Cinderella Castle at the very end. She was still blue at the time, not pink like she is now. Equally magical. Um, but I learned really quickly at the end of that this was not a once in a lifetime trip. And I knew that it was probably going to be very frequent that we would head back, and it became our tradition over the week of Thanksgiving to visit the parks. Because like honestly, there's nothing better than like Disney magic mixed with Christmas magic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get both of those magics together, and it's just an explosion of magic. So we booked trips with family, we booked trips with friends. Ultimately, the planning fell on me because everybody else was like, "Well, Caleb knows what he's doing. He knows that park inside and out." And then we had a trip planned after we got back in 2019 to go for 2020, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
Everything shut down. Disney closed its gates, which sidecar, I think they missed an opportunity when they did open them back up that they should have played for the first time in forever. That's my thing. Just sidecar. But at the end of 2020, we did end up taking that trip and visiting for just a couple days. And then we found out that my daughter was going to be coming and we were going to be having a baby. So in June of 2021, she comes around and we spoiled the crap out of her. Like every 6 months she went to Disney.
Whoa. Okay.
So like for the first 2 years of her life, she went to Disney 4 times, and we live in South Dakota. Okay. Like that's a 3.5 hour flight, both like one way. Okay. And then we spent a week there and fly back, and she's barely 6 months. But what I noticed on the very first trip was that my love and dream of going to Disney was no longer mine, and it became hers.
Mm-hmm.
And I see her like I saw the light in her eyes, and like the way she giggled when we rode Dumbo, and she loved meeting Mickey and seeing Goofy and Daisy and Donald, and she met Moana for the first time. Like all these things, it made it that much more special. And then in early 2022, I got a phone call, and I was asking if I wanted to be a part of a travel agency that specialized in Disney vacations. And of course, I said yes. And that's when I joined the travel agency. I was one of the very first people to be a part of that team. And ever since, I've been helping family and friends and people all over the country and world that I never met before create magical memories that will not only change their life, but the life of their kids and generations to come. And in that, like, what I've learned is that there's so many people that want to go to Disney for one reason or another, but the process feels very overwhelming, especially now. Like, there's so many resorts, there's so many different budgets that you can have. There's planning, there's dining, there's lightning lanes, there's characters, there's parties, there's 101 different things to be thinking about. And then you have the hesitation that people have using travel advisors in general. Right?
Yep.
And then maybe that's because of a bad experience, or maybe it's that Amazon mentality of like, I can just find it myself, probably cheaper someplace else.
Yep.
But the truth is that it's not about doing it cheaper. It's about doing it smarter. And the best thing about what we get to do in this podcast and what we're hoping to do in this is that we get to bring the tips and the tricks and share our experiences so that you guys can then have those same experiences. And that's what really came about with this podcast, right? We're not here to book just trips. We're here to help families, especially parents, navigate all there is about Disney World, Disneyland, or Disney abroad. And also, all three of us, we plan like dads. Okay, we think like dads. We think baby care centers. We think first aid. We think, how do we get the most popcorn for the least amount of dollars? Because that's gonna be a thing.
And stroller rentals and child swaps and all that fun stuff.
Or wheelchairs because grandparents.
ECVs, yep.
Right?
Electric vehicle, little electric wheelchairs, yep.
So my father-in-law at Disney, because they have those rails down the middle of Main Street, rolled his ankle.
Yeah.
So we went back and got an ECV. Like we gotta, right? Yep. But it's things like that. Like, that's our heart behind all of this, right? We want all of this to be helpful information and also entertaining, right? Like, at Disneyland this last go round, so many things happened. I reacted in so many ways. I can't wait to tell these stories because they just, I don't know how they happen. Like tonight, oh my goodness, tonight was a wild thing. Like, we can get into that later, but that's the whole point of this podcast. I don't know if any of you guys have anything you guys want to add, but golly, like, let's have fun.
Let's have fun for sure. Trying to pull up a picture of Caleb's reaction to.
Oh wait, you have one?
I do.
Oh,
Which
yeah,
one?
I have them too.
Yeah.
Which one?
Let's see if it's.
You didn't get my picture at the steakhouse though, so. Oh, you did get my picture at the steakhouse. Oh,
that's the one. All right, so now that there's the photo evidence, like, let's just tell a brief version of the story, and we'll leave it at that for
oh my
one.
goodness.
That's perfect.
Okay. So we go to this steakhouse. What is that restaurant called in Pixar?
Great Maple.
Yeah, okay. We go to Great Maple. Okay.
So good, by the way.
It is fantastic. The whole travel agency is there. Right? All of us travel agents, plus Eric and Liz and Danielle. And I don't even know who paid for that meal.
It was Royal, wasn't it? Royal was hosting.
Was it Royal? Okay. So
yeah, because Jara was there and she was like, order whatever you want. And I was like, say less.
Yep. Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. Yep.
The amount of food that we got was ridiculous, but
it was.
Royal picked it up, so I don't care. Also, not good beignets. Just saying, those were donuts, not beignets.
No, the real beignets are in the park. Everyone knows that.
Right. But of course, I order steak. Okay. South Dakota boy, I need my beef.
Mhm.
Okay. And as you do, you order it rare because anything else is a hockey puck. We get to talking, we're sharing drinks, whatever, and food comes around, and my steak is sat down in front of me, and I'm excited. Take my knife and fork, cut it open. That's not rare. It was like well done. So I patiently waited for the hostess to come back, and I debated just eating it and being fine with it.
Yeah, we told him not to.
Yeah, you
That
guys
didn't
kind
make
of
any sense to do.
whatever. I wasn't paying for it, so like I didn't care.
Right. No, I know, but
Yeah.
again, somebody was.
Right, that's fair. So she comes back, and I was like, "Excuse me, I wanted it rare, not quite rare. Can I get a new one?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Sure, no problem." She takes it back, and I don't know, like 5-ish minutes, 8 minutes go by, something like that, and the chef comes out bearing gifts of 2 steaks and sets them down in front of me and goes, "Pick one. This one I did a little bit longer. This one was a little bit less time on the grill. Tell me which one you want." So grab my fork and knife, cut into the first one, and the knife hits that meat and cuts open, and I go, "That's the one."
Yeah, you didn't even have to taste it. Like you knew as soon as you were cutting, like that's the one.
As soon as that happened, he's like, "Okay." He took the other one and he left. Thanked him immensely, like, because he didn't have to do that. Like, he did not have to do that.
Did not.
Take that first bite, and I swear, yeah, that's what happened. Like, just the look on my face, like, oh, it's so good. It was such a good steak. So good. Like, I tell the hostess again, right? She comes by, and I was like, "Can I have the chef come back out?" And
she's probably thinking, like, what now?
No, she did. Okay, she told me when she brought him back out that she was like, "Oh, I was so worried, like something else was wrong." And he comes back out. The chef comes out. I stand up. I shake his hand, because like he did not have to do that at all.
I have video of that one of
me shaking his hand. Yeah, like
I got
he
that.
didn't have to do that at all. And I, again, like they could have come to me and been like, "Yep, that's how you got your steak," and walked away, and I would have been like, "Okay, I'll eat it." Not that they would ever do that, right? Like they would never do that on a Disney property ever. Maybe some like low shelf steakhouses, they'll be like, "Yeah, what you get's what you got." But never at a Disney restaurant. I've never had that ever anywhere. And but I've also never had that ever anywhere. So like I just that steak, man. I have dreams of that steak. It was so good.
Yep.
I guess that guy he had said too that this wasn't his first steakhouse that he's worked at.
Right.
Like he has background in that, and I was like, okay, so you know what you're doing then.
Yeah.
Okay, this must have just been a mistake. Put the wrong steak on the plate, whatever. But like, yeah, that was good. It was
rare
good.
is harder to do. I think when you ask for rare, like you want the outside to be like, all it takes is like a minute. Well, because it rests.
Right.
Like if you cook it at too rare and then it rests, that becomes
more
medium
like
rare. Yeah. Which is not what you wanted.
Maybe even a little bit more medium.
Yeah.
So like you've got to you throw it on the 30 seconds on each side and then throw it on a plate and let it sit there.
Yep. It's quick sear and then you're done. That's it.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And that was the reaction. It was
super sad about those beignets though. Like those beignets could have been so much better.
Yeah.
But then we got
free.
Tiana's. We got Tiana's beignets like the next day. So it was
made up for it.
Right.
Did I get Tiana's beignets?
I don't know. Where were you? Were you not
there?
there?
Blue Bayou?
Well, yeah, we went to Blue Bayou, but like
no, the beignets are at the mint julep stand.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't with us. Where were you at?
I don't think I was with you at that moment. I don't know.
That was.
Oh no, you guys might have gotten it the day before.
Yeah, because you had the extra park day.
That you guys all left.
Oh yeah.
You guys all left, and then I stayed till the actual 70th.
weren't you there?
I don't think so. I don't
Were
think
either
I
of
would
you
have.
guys there?
I don't think I would have passed on the.
I didn't have
Tyler.
the beignets on this trip, but I've definitely had them.
But that's where Brittany had like a water, a Diet Coke, whatever that mint drink was that's there.
The mint julep.
Yeah. Like she had every drink possible.
All the liquids they have. Give me all the liquids you have.
And like it wasn't a good time for her. Like we started walking around and she's like, that was a mistake. And I was like, probably. I don't know why you did it. Plus the beignets, like everything. I was like, whatever. You've made this bed. But like, God, like it was so good. Like, but those are the stories that we're gonna tell. We're gonna tell all these stories and share our experiences. One thing that we're gonna ask you guys as viewers is drop a comment. What are some things that you want us to talk about? What are some questions you have? What are experiences that you've never tried, but one of us might have? Please tell us. Leave us a comment, shoot us a message, whatever. It really does mean the world to us. And we want to get you the content you want to see anyway. Because at the end of the day, if this podcast does anything besides just let us talk Disney, we want it to be beneficial to you guys. These stories aren't just ones we like to tell. These are stories that we live. And we would love to help you live your story. But I think that pretty much wraps us up for our first episode here of the Grim Grinning Dads. You've heard our stories, and now you know how us three Disney loving dads found our way to the microphone. We'll be back soon with more tips, tricks, hot takes, and a whole lot of magic. But until then, remember, this podcast, much like the Haunted Mansion, is always looking for one more listener to join us. So share it with a friend, follow along, and come back next time when the dads come out to socialize.